Hello and welcome to what's in this week's Oban Times with me, Ellis Butcher.
And me, Fiona Scott.
And another week rolls round and another edition of the newspaper rolls round. Have you been busy this week, Fiona?
I've been non-stop, Ellis, non-stop. What a quick week it's been. It's just flashed by.
They are flying by. I think we're on week 42 of the paper, which of course means that there's only, 10 weeks of the year left.
And no, don't even go there. Don't mention the C word.
I won't mention the C word. There is another C word which continues, as always, to dominate the news, isn't there? COVID. And we're now into the middle of October, and things are far from clear. And they're far from clear at a couple of shops in Oban, and that's the Edinburgh Woollen Mill stores. This follows news that the major group and the major company has filed papers in the High Court suggesting that it might go into administration. Now, it's not cut and dry just yet, and there is no news about the specific shops in Oban about what's going to happen to them, but things don't look good for the company as a whole. And we've been speaking to a couple of people in Oban this week about it. There seems to be a hell of a lot of affection for Edinburgh Woollen Mill in stores in Oban and the people that work there. So we're all going to be keeping our fingers crossed for them. What about you, Fiona?
Well, I've been working on along the same lines, Ellis, because obviously after Nicola's announcement last week, the bars, restaurants and hotels are, all restricted again. So I've been out and about speaking to some of them. But, you've got to give credit to the hospitality community in and around Oban. They're really showing stoic attitudes towards this, and most of them that can do are attempting to adapt and diversify to enable their businesses to continue to trade, which is great. I mean, obviously the pubs are really going to struggle because the ones that don't have the outside space. Yes. Ollie's bar, for one, have shut their doors altogether just now. But I mean, he's still paying his staff. Good for him, and just dying to start getting up and running again just to get some money in. But you can read all about that and some of the comments that we've been getting in this week's paper.
That's an interesting point, because Andy Spence of the group Bid for Oban, he was telling me that town itself is actually quite buoyant, and that the attitude among businesses is one of we're going to adapt to this thing. But they need customers, and they need people to be able to go in freely and spend their money freely. And unfortunately, the health situation at the moment, with the way the figures have gone, seem to be seeing extra restrictions being brought in just at a time, I think, when we all started to think that this was starting to go away a little bit. We've kind of had a summer where it was it looked like things were returning to normal, and now as the colder mornings and colder nights come, we seem to be sort of going into reverse. But let's hope it's a short-term thing. Anything else you've been up to this week, Fiona? Give us something a bit light-hearted.
It's a good job I've got something on it, Alice. No, well, Queen's birthday honours last week, they were postponed from June because of the COVID. So they were announced, I think it was last Friday, and I caught up with retired vet Jimmy Wilson, who received an MBE for services to veterinary practice and animal welfare on Mull. So you can find out all about Jimmy's work on our website and in this week's Oban Times. But what a great guy, and what a life he's had, and always wanted to work with animals since he was a child. His dad was a vet, so he used to go out on the rounds with his dad on Mull, and he's worked over at Tyree and Colonsea, and he's just a fantastic guy. So can read all about Jimmy.
Well done, Jimmy. I thought for 1 minute that you were going to tell me that you'd been, you had got the MBE for services to journalism. I thought you'd have the letter through the post.
No.
Maybe next year. Maybe
next year. Keep hoping, Ellis.
I think they'll make you a dame anyway. I think that's the title that's heading your way.
That makes you sound old. A dame.
Here at the Oban Times, We're always happy to hear from you. Stay in touch. Tell us your stories. Keep sharing those photos. You can contact us by calling 01631 568 000. You can email editor@obantimes.co.uk, or you can message us on Facebook. Don't forget, you can read all our stories for free online. You can also get the page-turning digital edition of the Oban Times by subscribing now online. So that's all we've got for this week. It's goodbye from me, Ellis Butcher.
And goodbye from me, Fiona Scott.
Bye.
Bye now.